We're catching up with former Broncos fullback Howard Griffith.
Pass over the middle, caught. Howard Griffith, goal line, touchdown, Denver!
In this edition of Broncos Legends.
Fullback Howard Griffith made his statement with blocking.
Howard, thank you so much for taking some time to join us. We like to start this out by simply asking, what have you been up to lately?
Well, since I left Colorado, I started working for the Big Ten Network here in Chicago and been a studio analyst covering college football, the Big Ten in particular, since I left Colorado. So for the just finished my 13th year. So it's been pretty exciting, and my time has flown by.
Did you always think you wanted to get into broadcasting after playing?
Yeah, I think that was going to be a natural progression for me. While I was still in Colorado, I still did a lot of things at some of the local radio stations. So it's something that I really wanted to get into and just continue to follow it. And, I've been blessed to be able to turn it into a career.
What's it like being able to be involved with the Big Ten? Obviously, you went to Illinois. Kind of cool getting to cover some of your old stomping grounds?
Yeah, and it doesn't hurt at all. And I'm never wrong. So it's the perfect gig for me. So everything I say is right, or nobody's paying attention to it. So it's all good. Everybody has their opinions, but it's been really fun. It's been fun to get a chance to be around those programs and really get to understand and get to know some of the young people. KJ Hamler in particular, I know you guys are excited to have him there, and I'm really looking forward to watching him play.
Yeah, what do you think he's going to be able to bring to the Broncos? Obviously, a lot of speed there.
A lot of speed, and I'm telling you, if you haven't met him yet, he's a young man that, you're going to look at him, you're going to say, this little guy? But I'm going to tell you, he'll be able to run for mayor in a year or so. I mean, he'll be just that much liked by the fan base and by his teammates. But he's a hard worker. He's going to do everything he can do to make things happen on the field. And I think it's going to be great in the community as well.
We're excited to finally get him in here if we can sometime soon, maybe a training camp or something like that. Howard, can you take us through what a normal day looks like for you?
Well, I'm usually in the studio 3 to 4 times a week, and my big day really is Saturday when we go onto campus. At least for the last couple of years, we've gone to campus for our version of what we call tailgating. We spend Friday and Saturday on campus, then we do a live 2-hour hit from the location, and it's been fun. I mean, we get a chance to, like I said, interact with a lot of the players and coaches and get a chance to get a feel for what's going on in this upcoming game. During the week, I do weekly shows, usually an hour or half-hour show to kind of either follow up or preview what's going to be happening in the upcoming week.
So you're busy. I mean, 4 days a week in the studio, man. You're rocking and rolling. When you look back at your playing career, how would you describe the type of player you were?
Just a team guy, just a hard-working, lunch pail type of guy. It was always about, our wide receiver group was unbelievable. Obviously, Terrell Davis and what he's been able to do, John Elway, our offensive line. For me, I just wanted to go in and make sure I didn't make a mistake. I wasn't the reason that the team lost. And when my number was called, to be able to perform. And sure, it was few and far between, but you still had to step up and be able to make plays when you can.
Can you describe what the team atmosphere was like in 1997 when you arrived in Denver? Obviously trying to compete for a Super Bowl, but also a team coming off that heartbreaking loss.
Yeah, and it was a team that had really started to work right away. I can remember coming in on my free agent visit when I was picked up from the airport. They were talking about, Elway was already, working out for the next season. Guys like Rod Smith were already ready, getting prepared for what was coming up. So I felt that I was coming into a situation that was really going to be tailor-made for what I did, what the Broncos wanted to do as far as their run game was concerned. I was taking over for a guy I had a lot of respect for, and Aaron Craver, who did a great job in Denver as well. But they wanted to switch the offense, make it more of a power attack as far as the run game was concerned. So I knew what my role was going to be. I knew I wasn't going to come in and catch 50 to 60 passes, although Kubiak tried to convince me of that when I was on my trip. But it was fun just to be a part of that atmosphere, be a part of that team. And the support staff, it wasn't just the team, but the support staff that was around, the equipment guys, the trainers, everyone in the organization was really first class. And Mr. Bolin did his best to make sure that his players and his employees understood that.
That was a fun team, though, huh? A lot of personalities in that locker room.
Yeah, Alfred Williams, Keith Burns, obviously Shannon Sharp, guys that could do a lot of talking, Bill Romanowski. But there were a lot of guys that really were leaders. And I think that's one of the things that made our team special. As I've looked at other teams that have won championships, whether it's at the college level or professionally, they have leadership at each and every position. And you may not be the captain of the team, but you still have to be a leader in that group. And what I've been able to see throughout championship teams, that there's always leaders at every position that are going to be able to step up and help lead the team in time of need.
With you being so involved in the game nowadays with your broadcast career and everything, who are some of your favorite players to watch right now?
Right now, if we're talking at the college level, I really watched a lot of Chase Young, obviously being in the Big Ten. He's going to have a phenomenal career. It's so many players that are out there that I like to keep an eye on. KJ Hamler was one of my favorites when you look at the college game. But you look at professionally, Mahomes is one of those guys. Von Miller, when you look at what he's able to do coming off the edge, there's so many exciting and athletic players in the game today. And I think that's what probably makes the game a little different now than it was when I played. The game is played out in space, and you have to be quick. You have to be able to make plays in space. And as a defender, you have to be able to tackle those guys with elite speed in space, and that's tough to do.
What do you think about the way the fullback is used in today's NFL?
I'm asked about that a lot, and it's in some ways non-existent. But in some programs, they still use them and still try to get the most out of it. It's just the evolution of the game. I think one day it'll come back. It all cycles through. It's whoever won the Super Bowl, whoever's having the most success at that particular time is where people are going to really want to focus as far as the offenses are concerned. But there's always going to be a place, I think, with organizations that understand what the fullback does and what they can do and provide matchup problems when teams get into nickel situations and that sort of thing. So, it's not where it used to be, but it's still fun to watch.
You do see that cycle, though, like the Mike Shanahan style offense is populating around the NFL, especially out there in San Francisco, too.
I wonder why. Kyle's seen a lot of success out of that offense, and he really has done a tremendous job as he continues to ascend through his coaching career. Now, obviously, a head coach with the 49ers, but you could kind of tell when he was hanging around the organization back then when he was in high school that he had a chance. He was going to be special, really understood the game at a really young age. And that's obviously from being around his dad and being around the coaching staff all the time.
And you see him use like a guy like Kyle Juszczyk, probably maybe the top fullback in the game today.
Yeah, so it's, there's a time for it. And you think about it, when you start to switch up personnel, start to move people around, that fullback position can give you an advantage in certain situations. And, I think it's up to the innovators that, can bring that back. And it's funny because you call people a genius. Geniuses throw the ball all over the field, right? And that's what you consider geniuses, whether it's particularly at the college level. But if you run the ball, you're somehow seen as old school. And that's kind of fun to watch as that arc continues to go through as far as offenses are continuing to evolve. You've got to be able to create mismatches on the field. And a lot of times people believe to be able to do that, you need to have 3-4 wide receivers, or you have the tight end that also can be used as an H-back to be that fullback at times.
And once in a while, you could surprise a defense by handing it off right to you, huh?
Exactly. That'd be shocking. Maybe once a month or only in the playoffs, but it kind of worked out for me that way.
It certainly did. On the biggest stage, it was all you, huh?
Yeah, it's a fun time. As I mentioned earlier, I never wanted to be the guy that was going to let the team down. And in my case, when you got the ball, every now and then, you had to be able to execute whatever that particular play was. And, it was fun to be able to get that opportunity to do that.
Howard, it was so great catching up with you. Thank you so much for your time. Hope that you're staying safe.
Hey, really appreciate it. You guys stay safe as well.